Hello and welcome to the I Can Do podcast with Benjamin Lee. We're here to talk about tips and strategies to have an I Can Do mindset. Life is what you put into it. Get the most you can. Here's your host, Benjamin Lee.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of I Can Do. I hope and pray all is well with you. Two words I want you to think about: time travel. Now, before you turn this episode off and say that time travel is just something that we make up in the movies, maybe like in the Marvel movies like you see behind me, if you're watching via video, I want you to think a little bit more about this. While, yes, we don't literally travel through time, isn't it interesting that we have a hard time at times staying in time like today? Our minds often travel back to the past. We often travel back and reminisce and think about, can even have a physical response to mistakes that we've made, failures that have been completed or done. And if not careful, we can even stay stuck in the past. That's what I'm really trying to drive at here when I talk about time traveling. We often time travel, and I think one of the biggest areas where we get stuck or travel back to is the past. Now, depending on what you're doing as you travel back to the past, that could be a good thing. For example, I think about the Apostle Paul. He would reflect and talk about the fact that he was the chief of sinners. So that's who he used to be. And yet at the same time, he would say in Philippians chapter 3, forgetting what lies behind and reaching forward to what lies ahead. He didn't get stuck in the past. Yeah, he knew who he used to be, but that's no longer where he was or who he was. Think about worry for a second. We worry a lot about past sins that we can have forgiven if we listen to what the Bible has to say. We worry about past mistakes, and we also time travel to the future and often worry about tomorrow. Yet it's Jesus who says, do not worry, so then do not worry about tomorrow, for each day has enough trouble of its own. Don't worry about tomorrow. Matthew chapter 6 and verse number 34. We don't worry about the future. While we can be concerned and plan, if not careful, we can get stuck in the future or stuck in the past. So this is what I'm really getting at when I talk about time travel. Now, on the other hand, while there are some negatives to time travel, I believe there are some really great positives as we start thinking about time travel. And I want you to think about this a little bit more as we begin a new year. Happy New Year's. It's January 1st, 2025. Now, let me tell you a secret. I'm actually recording this on December 17th. So even with this episode on time travel, I had to travel to the future because I'm going to record this launch this January 1st. You see, I'm already getting messed up. It's only December 17th, but this is going to be published on January 1st. So happy New Year's to you and happy New Year's to me. Hopefully I'll be able to listen to this podcast as well. There is something exciting about time travel, don't you think? Think about it for a second. When we were children, we used to do this all the time. Maybe when you were 11 or 12, you would say, I can't wait until I'm a teenager. Then when you became a teenager, you said, I can't wait until I get my driver's license. Then I can't wait until I graduate high school and I'm out on my own. Isn't it fascinating how we often do a lot of time traveling, but the further we get ahead in life, then we often slow down and say, man, I wish I could go back to my 20s. I wish I could spend more time in high school where I had more close friends and everything just seemed to be a lot more fun and carefree and relaxed. There wasn't a mortgage, there wasn't student loans, there wasn't, you fill in the blank. We all do this to some degree. The bigger question, I think, that I want you to consider as we begin a new year is if we're going to time travel, do it the right way. Think about the movies, for example. You know, I'm a big Marvel fan. In the movie Endgame, they time traveled, and yes, it did create a lot of problems, but they were able to reverse some things for the better, to fix some things in the present. If we're going to time travel, let's see how we can improve our lives. So, for example, Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan, in their books that I have been reading, like Who, Not How, 10x is easier than 2x, uh, uh, Becoming Your Future Self Today. That's by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. One of the things that they talk about is always measure backwards. AMB. So if you're looking to improve in 2025, and when you get to April, July, October, and December of 2025, take some time to always measure backwards. That is a beneficial way of time travel. When you measure backwards, you can see how much progress you have made. And if you measure backwards, or when you measure backwards, you will be able to see progress in some shape or form, whether that's in your fitness, hopefully in your faith, your relationships, your nutrition, whatever the case may be. Now, sometimes people say, well, I didn't progress at all. Well, if you look close enough, I'm sure there is something positive that you'll be able to find. Let's say, though, you don't find anything positive. The positive thing is you still have another opportunity because you'll still have today. So if you're going to time travel, number one, make it worthwhile. Measure backwards and see your growth. Maybe look at your investments and see how they have grown from January 1st, 2024 to January 1st, 2025. That will give us fuel and motivation and drive to continue on. Now, I would recommend don't wait until the end of the year to do this, but rather, as Dan Sullivan talks about, do this every 90 days. If you want to break it down, you can do it every day, where you can look back from when you woke up to the end of the day. How did you progress? And taking these bite-sized steps will go a long way in continuing to achieve your goals, to continuing to press forward, to continuing to improve every day. Constant and never-ending improvement. That's from the book Awaken the Giant, I believe, by Tony Robbins. So if you're going to time travel, measure backwards and look at your success. If you're going to time travel in the future, then create a future that is bigger than your present. Again, another quote by Dan Sullivan, which I really like. And what Dr. Benjamin Hardy talks about in Becoming Your Future Self Now is have a goal that's bigger than just today or tomorrow or this week or next month, but have a goal of maybe 5 years in the future. So take some time to meet yourself in 2030. Think about that. Next year, this year, 2025, in 5 years, it will be 2030. How old will you be? Where will you be? What will you look like? What will you be doing? Bring that person back and have a conversation with them. Maybe even write a letter to yourself today from yourself 5 years from now. It's a pretty amazing exercise. I can remember when I was working out with Bill Phillips, one of the exercises that he had us do was write a letter, our future self writing a letter back to our current self. And I did this exercise. It was a great exercise. I had a friend hold on to it, or maybe I just emailed him the letter, and he sent me that letter at different times of the year. That really helped me out because I got a letter from myself, and it really reminded me of what I had already done, who I was trying to be, and why I needed to keep moving forward. You see, that is a way to time travel and to have great success. Now, for Christians, one of the things that we should be doing is seeking those things above and not those things below. And our mind should be on heaven, eternity, the return of Jesus. And we don't know the day or the hour when that will happen. And so we need to have this mindset of being ready and thinking about the future. and continuing our walk with the Lord. Whether it's with your faith, whether it's with your career or your family or your finances, that's something I'm working on personally. Creating a big enough goal 3 or 4 years, 5 years into the future that will have a dramatic impact on today, where it's not just trying to get through today and focusing on the small things today, but looking at it from a bigger standpoint. Time travel. Do you like to time travel? Let me ask you a question. Where is your favorite place to time travel? Do you like to go back in time? For some people, they do. And there's great benefit in doing that, right? Think about history. We can go back in time and learn from mistakes of others. We can even go back and learn from our own mistakes. Maybe you like to go forward in time. Maybe you like to try to predict the future to the best of your ability, to see, as they say in some business books, around the corner about potential dangers or maybe even potential opportunities. However you decide to time travel, make it beneficial, not just for you, but for everyone. Enjoy it and plan and prepare and be ready and become better. So as you listen to this, it's January 1st, 2025. As I run in the morning, getting exercise first thing in the morning with a friend and my sister, it's sunny outside, it's cool but not too cold. I feel great. I'm in shape. I've been consistent the last 3 or 4 months, actually the last 6 months with my running. And January 1st is going to be a great day. My football team in alma mater, Illinois, is going to be playing in the Citrus Bowl. I'm going to have a nice lunch as I watch them win and beat South Carolina. I'm going to write in my journal. And I'm going to write so many things, and I am writing so many things with respect to blessings that I've had from 2024. Now, you may be listening to this and be asking, what are you talking about? Well, that's me just putting myself in January 1st, which is only 2 weeks away from this recording. This is one of the most fun exercises to do. So I want to encourage you as you begin a new year, keep the heart of a child, have fun, explore, be curious, and time travel. Put yourself in March 1st, June 1st, September 1st, December 31st, 2025. Can you see it? Can you visualize and see the great things that are taking place? Bring that person back today to you and use that as a way to drive you forward towards your goals. So if I'm saying anything, I'm saying time travel the right way. Have a great vision of where you want to be and who do you want to become. Take time to even go back in time to see just how far you have come and who you are today. I hope this helps. Please leave me a rating. It would give me a great sense of happiness if you left me a rating and a review. So let me time travel to December 31st. I have over 100 reviews on this podcast. I'm so thankful for those reviews. I'm thankful for you taking 30 seconds to leave me a review. I'll listen to this December 31st to see if I indeed hit that number as well. Thank you so much. I can do, so can you. Talk to you later, and see you in the future.